She done a great job. I just didn't listen.
Anything you want to say to Mom?
I love her to death.
Well, we've always heard the old saying, mother knows best, but is that always true? Especially when it comes to mom's advice on finding and keeping Mr. Right and other things and raising your children. Helping us to keep the sanity between you and mom when you grow up, please welcome certified sex therapist Emily Diala to the show. Hello. I first want to point out that you are a certified sex therapist, but you also do regular therapy as well.
That's right. Yeah, the umbrella term, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and licensed professional counselor. The sex thing is kind of a separate certification.
All right. Okay. So the dynamics can be different between a mother and her son and then a mother and her daughter.
Definitely. The dynamics are very complex. You know, they can evolve over time. You know, there are some mothers and daughters who talk constantly every day. There are some who are more distant, you know, and over time you go from wearing your mother's high heels to saying, I never want to be like you ever in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so they evolve, and they are different between mothers and sons as well.
And then there's that moment where all of a sudden you find yourself acting like your mother.
Yes, there is that day comes.
Yeah, my son looked at me and he goes, you're acting like grandma. It's like, oh, whoops. Yeah. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. There's also that thing of trying to be friends. And I know sometimes with moms, they want to be like, you know, their daughter's
cool
best girlfriend.
Mom. Yeah. No, and that's fine. You know, you have to be really careful, though. Up through adolescence, it is important that you're someone who's a good role model, someone who they can go to for advice, and someone that's maintaining healthy boundaries. Later on into adulthood, you can evolve more into that dynamic, and that can be a lot of fun, too.
All right. We have a couple of folks in the audience who have some questions for you, starting with Sarah. Good morning, Sarah.
Hello.
What's your question?
I have a very strong-willed, independent little girl. She's 6 years old, and I want to rein it in without crushing her spirit, and I'm not sure how to do that.
Well, you know, independence and self-esteem are really great qualities for girls to have, and so I do think it's important that you foster that, you know, but you also do want to set healthy boundaries, and especially when it comes to safety. You know, if she's doing anything that you're concerned may be, you know, compromising that, then of course it's your job to step in. So talk to her how much you love that quality and how special you think that is, and do a lot of feeling validation for her so that she knows that it's a good thing, you know, but that she does need to listen to you when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and the difference between stepping out and then sometimes when little people do things that we think are cute, like my son yesterday said to me, I said, well, Duncan, the reason why is because that didn't solidify. He goes, English, please.
Right.
And I thought it was funny, but at the same time it can be disrespectful. So there's that fine line.
Always want to maintain respect.
All right, let's go to Beverly. Hi, Beverly.
Hello.
Hi.
How do I give advice to my 30-plus-year-old daughter without offending her?
So the old,
yes.
that starts to irritate.
Because you know she was grown since she was 5, right?
Right. You know, a couple of things. Number one, never give unsolicited advice. You know, people are way more likely to hear what you say if you say first, would you like to hear my opinion on that? You know, that just opens the door, and then, you know, chances are they're going to say, sure, no problem. So if you open it by saying, would you like to hear my opinion on that, that's the first thing. And the second thing I'd encourage you to keep in mind, like I was saying before, is validate her feelings. You know, I love and care about you. I, you know you're going through this problem, you know, and so I want to be able to help you out with that because I'm your mother, and, you know, she'll be more receptive if that's the case.
I'm going to go with the dynamic of a mother and a son, because sometimes somebody said, oh, because sometimes it's almost like the son's caught in the middle, and the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law start competing for that son's affection. You know, you got to have your boundaries on that.
You do, and I really think that falls on the mother to step back a little bit. You know, mothers do have a natural desire to want to protect their children, you know, whether they're boys or girls, but I think especially when another woman comes into play, it can get to be kind of a weird dynamic, and so I put the onus on the mother to step back and have a healthy relationship with the daughter, because you're more likely to, you know, I don't want to say get what you want, or the daughter-in-law, to, you know, if you have an ally as opposed to someone you perceive as a threat.
Right, and that can cause the breakup of marriages when that son just, well, it's my mom, I got to choose my mom. All right, all right, we have Kathy on the line. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
What's your question for Emily?
My question is it appropriate to take away your daughter's cell phone if she's texting messages to friends that are very self-deprecating and very negative about herself.
Yes, she said, is it appropriate to take away your daughter's cell phone if she's texting messages to friends that are very self-deprecating and very negative about herself?
I mean, taking it away is one thing, but the other thing you want to do is really talk to her about why she's having those kinds of self-esteem issues. What is the underlying thing that's causing her to, have that belief about herself, and open the door for an honest dialogue about that.
And I'm going to ask a question. Is her father in her life?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a good relationship?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, the two
sometimes
of you,
that happens
that can. And if the two of you can really sit down together and talk with her about that, I think that would be. You don't just want to take it away without an explanation or without further dialogue. Use these teachable moments to foster growth and enhance self-esteem.
In that case, that's where that phone, I think, is a positive, because kids sometimes won't talk to you.
Right.
They'll talk to their peers,
their friends.
and you find out what she's really saying. Speaking of the sex part, oftentimes that low self-esteem, self-deprecating can show up in the bedroom where girls are equating sex with love.
Yes, that happens all the time, and if you have poor self-esteem, and it's really, your job as parents to help foster that, because that can lead to unhealthy relationship dynamics, and definitely equating sex with love, and that goes both ways for boys and girls.
Yeah.
So it's important to, help them understand the difference.
And the reason why I asked that question earlier about the relationship with the father is that we know that girls get their sense of self-esteem from daddy and boys get it from mom, basically.
Right.
So was the reason why I was asking that question. All right, if you'd like more information on Emily's practice and her relationship advice, just log on to our site at greatdayhouston.com. Abercrombie & Fitch is known for their good-looking employees and their risque advertising, and now they're saying some people shouldn't be wearing their clothes. Find out who next. Seriously? Plus, Emily's sticking with us along with our mommy blogger Patty to answer your parenting questions. So keep the calls coming in. 713-284-1055. 713-284-1055. We'll be right back.
If there's anything you want to fess up to now that you're an adult, come clean about anything that she might not have known about back in the day. So you were a good girl?
Well, why would I ever want to confess?
So you're just going to take it to the grave. Mom, you don't need to know. There's some things that you just...
know.
There you go. Have a good day, guys. Thank you. She's staying quiet on that one, Mom.